This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. For help with your retirement, schedule a 15-minute phone conversation with the team at ProStatus Financial Advisors today. Just call 866-597-1040 and at thesavvyinvestorradio.com.
Welcome once again to the Savvy Investor Radio Show and Podcast with the team at ProStatus Financial. Mike Canet is here, Ryan Herbert is here, and talking through some of the issues of retirement. And this one is meant for you, I guess everybody who has kids and some who have little kids. There's a survey out there, guys, that say that the average little kid asks their parents 46 questions a day. Ryan, can you can you back that up?
You weigh in on that?
I would say when my kids were younger, I would say that number is way low with the amount of questions that we get. I mean, I would say, the one thing that we hear now, mom. I'll be sitting right in front of them and they'll just start asking for mom. It drives my wife nuts. It drives me nuts because I'm like, what do you need?
We need the yes that mom's going to give us instead of the no that dad's going to give us.
That's exactly what it is. Just tell me what you want. No, I want to talk to mom.
I got you. Well, the questions that come our way, according to this survey, says parents can't answer most of them, maybe about 35% of those questions. But, we spin everything financial here. And so I want to throw this way, guys. There are people that are sitting down right now listening to the show. They know that they need a financial advisor. They don't know who. They're listening to you, seeing, I wonder what these guys are like. So I want you to put yourself in the other side of the chair here. You're on the other side of the table. What questions should we be asking a financial advisor or a financial advisory firm that show us that you're the guy for the job? Mike, talk to me about what we should be asking you. I mean, you're interviewing that person to see if they're right for you. They got to do the same thing.
Yeah, and from our perspective, because we are interviewing, air quotes, you, just like you're interviewing us, we do have a little bit of an advantage because we're making sure that the things that you're looking for are the things that we deliver. So I think that's a question you want to ask. I know it sounds kind of broad and nebulous, what are your deliverables? But tell me what it is you do for your clients, right? Mm-hmm. Are you a transactional advisor? And for some people, that's all they want. They want, they want to buy a stock, they want to buy a bond, they want to buy a mutual fund, they want to buy an annuity, they want to buy a life insurance bond, something. They want a transactional relationship where you can go to somebody and say, hey, I just want to buy this, or I just want this piece of advice. And you want to glean whatever you can get and call it a day. But I think a big question is, what is it you actually do? What are your deliverables that you're going to give to us? So, like, for example, for us, everybody gets a financial plan. It just is. We won't do advice giving without actually creating a plan. So you're going to get an income plan. We're going to show you how to create income. Now, for some people, they've already created the income they needed, but we're going to take a look at that. And if they don't need income, well, then we check that box. Income problems are solved. We're going to talk to you about the fees you're paying because fees are important. We're going to talk to you about the risk you're taking because the risk is important. We're going to talk to you about taxes. We're going to talk to you about long-term care. We're going to talk to you about estate planning. So for us, those are like the core deliverables that we provide to every single person coming through the door. And I think that would be an important question. What is it you do exactly for whatever you're going to charge? And so that would be a question. I mean, what else would be important there?
I think that one of the things that when potential clients come to me and I'm asking them, if you're working with a financial advisor now, what is it that they are doing or that they're not doing that has you looking for somebody else? And oftentimes one of the things that does come up is that it does kind of go along with the lines of what you said. I asked them if they do tax planning. They said yes. And now every time I ask a tax question, they say, go ask my tax guy. But I think an important aspect is when you're sitting down with a financial advisor, you want to ask them, will I be working with you or will I be working with somebody else in this office? Because a lot of times, I get a lot of advertisements to the house for financial advisors. We bought my in-laws' house, so I get a lot of advertisements to dinner seminars, invites to dinner seminars. And I go to these clients, to these companies' websites because I'm just curious. And oftentimes I see that it's one main advisor who kind of does all the sales, but then you're actually working with somebody completely different in the end. And that has been a complaint I've seen. So you do want to know who exactly you're working with, so you get the experience with that person. You're not saying, oh, this person's all well and great and I like him, I like his personality, and then all of a sudden you're sitting with a junior advisor.
And there's nothing wrong with the team approach, but you want to know that that's exactly what it's going to be.
You want to know that's what it is. And that's one of the questions that does come across. Mike is a little bit older at this point, and I can remember a number of years ago when Mike and I were, we were meeting with clients together, and one client said, "You look pretty old." To Mike, what's the plan? And he goes, "Well, that's why Ryan's sitting right here. Look how much younger he is than me." And that's why we do take a team approach here at ProStatus. I don't meet with any potential clients on my own anymore. We're always meeting with one of the other advisors because, tomorrow's not promised. Someone can always get hit by that proverbial pickle truck.
Damn pickle trucks.
Mike likes to talk about, but, not always going to be here. I take vacations. Mike takes vacations. You want to have the team approach so that it's not just one person working with your plan. You want to be able to have a team that's helping you,
But you want a quarterback that's directing the team.
Yeah, you do want that one person. But I think that is an important thing to ask. Everybody always asks, how do you get paid? That is a very important question that everybody asks. And when you Google, while Mike was talking, I was Googling, what are the questions you should ask a financial advisor? Because I was curious as to what the number one question is. And, across all these different websites, from Fisher Investments to Smart Asset to Motley Fool, all these things, it's number one or two. Tell me how you get paid. So everybody, you want to know how they're getting paid. Are they charging commissions? Are they charging a fee? What are they charging a fee on? What's that fee schedule? Because you want to know specifically what you're paying, and that is a very important part of it.
And the fact is that if you're going to work with somebody that's on a commission-driven basis, there's nothing wrong with that. Just know that's how they get paid, right? And if you're going to work with somebody that's fee only, just know that's how they get paid. If you're going to work with somebody that's a hybrid that does a little bit of both, just know how they get paid. And if you're just going to get somebody that just does flat fee, where it's just a flat fee, that's fine too. So obviously as an industry, we get paid to do what we do, but you as the investor, as the consumer, should know how we get paid. I think a mistake that gets made, one of the questions that gets asked frequently is, how's your performance? And I say that's a mistake because what you want to be careful about when you're hiring somebody is that you want them to outperform what either A, you're doing yourself, or B, what you think is reasonable, right? So you want the performance, when you're hiring somebody, you want the performance conversation to be geared around how closely does your performance meet the expectations that are being set. Because if you come into my office and say, hey, look, I get 20 to 30% returns every year, and I want to hire you, but you have to beat my 30% returns every year, if I'm an unethical financial advisor, I'd say, fine, come on in. And then what I'm going to do is try to hit home runs every week so I can outperform you, because that's the only way I keep you. Well, that's bad for you, right? I mean, because if I'm trying to hit home runs, most home run hitters strike out a lot. Not every single one, but most of them strike out a lot. And you don't want an advisor swinging for the fences just for the opportunity to keep your business. So while asking about performance is important, our philosophy has always been, we're going to set goals and we're going to take the risk necessary to accomplish the goals. So my performance is irrelevant. It's, am I accomplishing our goals? That's more important to me than anything, right? So I think that's an important question.
I would say that probably one of the key questions, these are all important questions, but one of the most important ones, I think, is you want to ask that advisor, how much experience do they have with clients in the phase of life that you're in? Because a lot of advisors are really just focused on growing your assets. That's all they want to do, kind of like that home run hitter. Their number one goal, and
phase one fiduciaries,
there's no detriment to them, is they want to bring as much assets as they can under them to manage and grow them as much as they can. Like Mike said, phase one fiduciaries, and they do a really good job of looking out for your interests and making making sure that money grows. But that person is probably not the right person for the phase of life that retirement brings you into, that distribution phase, because their entire focus is, how do I grow this money and make it as big as possible? They don't have any thought of, all right, now that we have our nest egg, now that we've hit the finish line of I've made it to retirement, how do we disperse this money? How do we use the right type of vehicles to make sure that you as the client are not going to outlive your money? How do we do it in such a way that we're not triggering massive tax consequences? How do we do it to be cognizant of your Medicare IRMA number? How do we do it to be cognizant of any potential penalties from Social Security? You want to make sure that you're working, if you're approaching retirement or you're in retirement, that you're working with a phase 2 fiduciary, someone who is concerned with that second phase of life where their focus is not just grow the money. The focus is preserve and protect and distribute the money to you in the most tax efficient manner. I think that's one of the most important things. And that really is what Mike and myself and our team here at ProStatus focus on is, for the most part, you've done a great job of growing your assets, getting yourself to the point where you feel you're comfortable enough for retirement, but let's take it that next step further. And here's how you make that retirement happen.
And so I know we have to wrap up here shortly, but I think other important questions are you going to give me a written plan? Are you going to give me a written plan about my income, and are you going to help me implement it? Are you going to give me a written plan about my estate, and are you going to help me implement it? Are you going to give me a written plan about my taxes, and are you going to help me implement that plan? Are you going to give me a written plan about long-term care, estate planning, everything? Are you going to put it in writing and help me implement it? Or are you going to be like a lot of those law firms out there that create trusts? We create this big old trust for you, give you instructions, and throw you to the wolves to figure it out yourself. That's not what you want at this phase of your life. You want a phase 2 fiduciary that's actually going to create the plan, give it to you in a written form that you can understand, and help you implement the plan so that it actually works out the way you want it to. So it meets the expectations so you can have that retirement that you've always envisioned.
There are so many different titles out there. There are stockbrokers and insurance professionals and CFPs and CPAs and financial planners and retirement planners. There's so much out there. But as the guys have kind of honed in on, if you've got somebody out there who's just growing your money, are they going to be in touch with Medicare and Social Security and legacy planning and the whole tax problem that we can run into with our 401ks and our IRAs? That's the kind of person you want helping you through retirement. Give the team a call at ProStatus Financial. Take a look at the website. The notes are all right there as well. It's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, thesavvyinvestorradio.com or 866-597-1040.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.